Hey Jack, so your package is ready to go, mate. I'll show you around the attachments one more time, just to show everything's all packaged together. So, skid steer adapter with EC oil, the grading beam, the grading extensions. They're going to be at the show, so they didn't make it with the transport, but Inchcon are bringing them to the show, so we'll get them. So they bolt on the front of that for you. The ripper, the head bracket for your auger, the mud bucket, forks obviously, and then we've got your 600, 300, 900, 4-in-1. In here will be the screen and the two mushrooms which go on top. So we'll pull them off and put them in there somewhere safe for transport. And then in this box here, we've got filters, manuals, flashing light tools, EC oil covers. So that's all just packaged in there, then that'll be in the cab. So just go over real quickly again. Main auxiliary circuit, second auxiliary circuit, same on the other side, and there's a case drain on the other side. So a quick little walk around. You've got your mushrooms up the top here. And then we've got the washer wiper overflow. Before I forget, something around here, we're just putting a bit of tape on these. There's some little drain holes here from side to side to let any water that comes down this window out. We just tape them up for transport, so you can peel that off when you get there. So coming around the back, additional counterweight. Up the top here, you've got your rear view camera, the rear light, and then the aerial for the UHF in the Raptor 3D system. Fuel tank is in here. This is your coolant overflow, engine oil filter, dipstick, fuel filters, fuel lift pump. A couple things here. Be careful with this is a water in fuel sensor. When you're changing the filter, just down here you can see the connector, just here. So disconnect that connector and screw that fitting off. You don't want to screw that wire up because you can end up breaking a wire. So you gotta be careful of that, but that just screws into the bottom of the next filter. Fuel lift pump. So if you can't start the machine, it won't let you start it if we haven't got fuel pressure. So A, you might be out of fuel, or B, maybe these wires have come loose. They're attached a lot better these days, but I've had that on older machines. So yeah, that's had an update on it. But just so you know, there's something, if you're out bush or something, it might help. So yeah, water separator, fuel filter is in there. What else in here? There's a pilot filter in here. So that's done on the first service and the major service. Aircon. So there's two filters for the aircon. One of them's inside, and that's just that panel there. So two screws out and you can replace that. And then there's another external air to suck air from the outside. That's in here. So if you come in under here, you can see two little screws there. Somewhere there you can see it. That panel will just drop out to clean it. So if you're in dusty conditions, clean them daily. Same as the engine air filter if you're in bull dust. And just we've now included those cab filters on minor services as well as major services, so that we, don't have clogged filters. If your filter gets clogged and you don't clean it out, it can suck the dust through into the evaporator core, and then you'll have to wash that out. So better to just check that with your engine air filter, which was in here. So keep an eye on that one. Travel alarm's just there. So in here, you got a couple grease points here. Don't forget them. They're for the slew ring. Here's your bank of solenoids for the joystick track control. Radiator, cooling fan. So this is an electronically adjustable, hydraulically driven cooling fan. So we just disconnect the connector down here, and that will run at full speed. Whereas when the connector's on it, the computer will control at what speed it wants to go. Lockable battery isolator, and then you've got the battery in the box. E-stop up on there. Track tension. So your tracks will be, there's a sticker here which shows you basically exactly what I'm going to explain. I will lift that up there. So you got to put this little tensioning tool here. That's in your tool bag, which is in that big box. That needs to be used to check the tension, and you put it where the roller is to where it runs on the track. So that's here onto there. That's the gap that you're measuring. So you do it off the middle roller, and you lift the machine off the ground with a bucket and the blade, and then check that gauge. If you're running them too tight, you can accelerate your wear on your idler and your track expander cylinder, and you can have premature failure on that, which is not what you want. So don't over tension the track, and obviously if you run it too loose, you can derail easier. So that gauge is a go, no go gauge. So from new, that'll stretch a fair bit to start with, and then after say 100 hours it should be bedded in and stretched. So just keep an eye on your tension the first couple of days, every couple of hours, and then after the first few days it should be once a day, and then after a week or two then it should be once every couple of days. Just check it while they bed in. So I'll come around and jump up into the cab now. So the chair is adjustable on 2 slides. So the bottom slide brings the joysticks and the chair forwards and backwards, and then the top slide does just the chair separate to the joystick. So you can set up your arm length correctly. So that's handy. And then as I come up into the cab, the first thing you'll see, we've got this quick information sheet. So that shows you what filters to use on what service, and they're all in the box. Shows you what oils, volume of oils, size of belts, etc. So make sure you read the operator's manual for all of the servicing recommendations. So this is just a quick list to help you, but you need to, we say it on there, read the manual, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you do it. It's a good manual. Then we've got some EngCon stickers here. So the buttons for the joystick are on there, how to activate the track control, and then how to use the hitch circuit. So I'll show you that now anyway. Up here you got your emergency stop. We've got our RaptorTech screen for the 3D GPS, and that's all loaded and there. So we can see our little Mecalac is on the screen there. And then we've got our boom side view and our front view of the bucket. So when I turn the machine on, I'll show you that. Hitch, we'll come back to that. You've got parked mode, excavator mode, skid steer mode, start stop on the engine, aircon controls. So ignition keys on, so just start stop. We've got the top section here, and then we've got the bottom section here. So this will do the top hitch, and this will do the bottom hitch. So if we want to disconnect the bottom hitch, we press this to activate it, and then we hold those 2 buttons down. That'll disconnect it, and then we lock it again like this. That's it, that's locked. Same with the top hitch. Press it, push them down, it'll unlock, and then press it, both buttons. If you press one and then the other, it won't work. It needs to be both together at the same time. That's the safety feature. So coming down onto the joysticks. So on here, this is your tilt. So this is your tilt. And then underneath here, we've got the top one is the track control. So that does the what do you call it? Direction rotation change. So track left, track right, and then this is your integrated grab. This button down here, that's your force shear button. So what that means is when we have a tilt rotator on and we still want to make use of that main auxiliary circuit, we hold this button in and then use this slide switch. That'll force oil through the main auxiliary circuit and nothing to the tilt rotator. Super handy if you're running a high flow attachment around the outside of the tilt rotator. So holding that in and then use that top slide switch. When you let go of the button, the tilt rotator will come back on. And then other buttons on here, this button underneath is so with your finger here, that's your boom control button. So that's what switches between the 2 boom cylinders. So it's in a really good spot on there. And then what else have we got on here? Horn is up here. And that's it. This button. This button will, instead of the grab working, when we hold this button down, the couplings that are at the front of the tilt rotator will work. So the grab, integrated grab is normal, hold that button down, then the second circuit will work. So we run out of roller position, so we just have that button to switch between the two. Across onto this joystick, this is your rotation, and then underneath we've got your travel for the track. So forwards, backwards. So you go forwards and backwards with your speed there, and then you turn with the other side. So that'll make sense when you start using it. And then this one is your offset boom, and then you press this button here, and that will switch between offset boom and second auxiliary circuit when you're in excavator mode. So that's pretty simple. The other buttons on here, you've got your rabbit and turtle speed, which is under there, same position as on the standard joystick. And that's it for those buttons. Over here, if you want the track control to work, every time you turn the machine on, you just have to option it. So you just press that and it'll turn the function on. This is a Hitch alarm override. So if the Hitch is alarming at you, you just press this for 3 seconds. It'll stop the alarm for if you're using the lifting eye without an attachment on. This is the bucket inversion switch. So if your bucket's facing the wrong way, then you press this and then the joystick will feel normal to you. This is that automatic coupling mode versus manual mode. So that's what that extra foot pedal will do. I've left the foot pedal on for you. You're welcome to unbolt it. It's a couple of screws, pretty easy to do. When you get used to the joystick tracking on the joysticks, you'll probably unbolt these too. Over here we've got the blade control. That's pretty simple. And on here we've got a heap of buttons. So auto idle, wiper, work lights, continuous flow switch. So that'll put continuous flow to an attachment. And then here we've got a cruise control. So you press that button and you see this grey thing. See, max is grey. When it's yellow, you press the knob once and then you see that's flashing. Then you can turn that down. So what that does is limit the speed. So you can go all the way down to say 3 and then your joystick range will be really slow. So that's great for if you're doing slow work like trenching with a chain trencher. And when you don't want that on, you press the button on the button panel and it'll go to max again. In here, you've got the menu. So you come around and you've got error page. Come in here. That's the error page. So no errors. If you come around to this one, that's not the error page. That's the serial number page. So don't worry about that. You need to be in this one to read errors. Settings, you can play with a few different things in there. So you work your way around that one. Got your rear view camera, you can turn that on and off. Then we've got our microphone for the radio, cup holder, cigarette lighter plug, EngCon screen, and then we've got our GPS and your fire extinguishers up there. And on here, this is your GPS. So I'm going to turn this on. So if you watch this, I'm just going to move the middle boom up. And you'll see, when I've got it in the right mode, you'll see that middle cylinder is moving up. And that's going at the same time. Whoops, I just got a curl. You'll see the bucket curl as well. So, and then as I go down, I'll go a bit faster for you, you can see it. And then as I rotate, you should be able to see that. Whoops, that's tilting. So you'll be able to see that on that screen. So that shows our tilt. And then our rotate will be shown here. So rotate around, you can sort of see it rotating on that screen there, like that. There you go. And we come into here and we can select all our different attachments. So with EngCon, without EngCon, different buckets. So let's put the skid bucket on. We've drawn it, it's quite a big bucket obviously. And 0 off, so if I go down to the ground level, and I can just 0 off here, that's my 0 height. So as I come up, and then down, that's that. So that's quite simple. The Raptor guys are going to contact you and have a chat to you about the software obviously and train you up on that. So they'll do that direct with you and they'll be at the show so we can spend some time together looking over that. All right, that's everything for now, mate. I hope that helps you get going. And yeah, happy digging. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks at the expo. Thanks, mate.